Look at your hands. Really look at them. For 10,000 years, those hands were the most sophisticated pieces of technology on the planet. They were the primary engine of the global economy. They built the cathedrals of Europe, they forged the steel of the Industrial Revolution, and they typed the code that launched us into the stars. But as you watch this, in the high-tech laboratories of the efficiency class, from the glass towers of Palo Alto to the manufacturing hubs of Shenzhen, your hands have been redacted. We've been fed a fairy tale for a century. We're told that automation is about progress. We're told it's about making life easier and freeing humans from drudgery. That is the ultimate cover story. Tonight, we're opening the forensic file on a 100-year corporate insurgency. This isn't a story about better tools. It is a story about the systematic elimination of human leverage. We are unearthing the history of how the world's most powerful entities spent 100 years trying to build a global economy that doesn't need people. You aren't being upgraded. You aren't being upskilled. You are being phased out. Welcome to the forensic history of the 100-year war on jobs. To understand the end of the world, we have to go back to its beginning. The war didn't start with a microchip. It started in 1811 in the heart of the English Midlands. Enter the Luddites. History has been rewritten to make these people look like idiots, angry backwards peasants who were afraid of technology. That is the first lie. The Luddites weren't tech illiterate. They were master craftsmen. They were the elite weavers of their day. They didn't hate the machine. They hated what the machine represented, the redaction of skill. Before the power loom, a weaver held the knowledge. It took a lifetime to master the tension of the thread, the rhythm of the pedal, the feel of the fabric. That knowledge gave them power. It gave them a seat at the economic table. If the mill owner didn't pay, the weaver walked and the mill died. The loom protocol changed the math forever. It took that generational, intricate knowledge and condensed it into a mechanical gear. Suddenly, a 12-year-old child could do the work of a master weaver for a fraction of the cost. The value was moved from the human brain to the company's hardware. This is the blueprint of the 100-year war. Simulate the human, then eliminate the human. The Luddites fought back with hammers because they knew exactly what was happening. The machine was being used to redact their sovereignty. They weren't fighting the future, they were fighting their own obsolescence. And they lost. For 150 years after the Luddites, the war was slow. Machines were dumb. They needed humans to steer them, oil them, and fix them. But in 1961, the ghost took a physical form. This is the Unimite file. The first industrial robot, Unimite, joined the assembly line at General Motors in Trenton, New Jersey. Its job was simple. It moved glowing, white-hot pieces of die-cast metal from a machine and dropped them into cooling liquid. It was a job that burned human skin and destroyed human lungs. On the surface, it looked like a humanitarian miracle, but the boardrooms saw something else. They saw the perfect worker. Unimite didn't ask for a raise. Unimite didn't join a union. Unimite didn't get tired, pregnant, or sick. Unimite didn't have a soul that required dignity. This is the forensic decoupling. This is the exact moment the productivity pay gap became a chasm. From 1948 to 1973, as workers became more productive, they got more paid. They shared the spoils. But once the ghost entered the factory, the owners realized they didn't need to share. If the machine produced the value, the owner kept the surplus. The worker became a cost center to be minimized rather than a partner to be rewarded. We stopped being the pilots of the economy and started being the excess weight on the flight. For decades, the middle class watched the factory floor burn and thought they were safe. They had degrees, they had creativity, they had logic. The war on jobs was something that happens to people in blue jumpsuits, not people in Patagonia vests. You thought your cognitive surplus was unredactable. You were wrong. Welcome to the 2025 dossier. With the rise of large language models and generative AI, the ghost has moved from the factory floor into the corner office. The algorithm isn't coming for your muscles anymore. It's coming for your mind. It can write a legal brief, debug 1,000 lines of Python, and design a marketing campaign in the time it takes you to take a sip of your latte. This is the final stage of the archaeology, the redaction of the mind. The system no longer needs your physical presence or your intellectual input. It only needs your data. For the last decade, every email you wrote, every line of code you pushed to GitHub, and every creative post you shared was used as a training set. You weren't working for a salary. You were unknowingly training your successor. You were building the digital coffin for your own career. Here is the forensic reality that no politician wants to admit. If the robot wins the 100-year war, what happens to the worker? History is a cold teacher. When a resource becomes obsolete, it is discarded. For a century, the social contract was simple. We need your labor to create wealth, so we will provide you with a middle-class life, healthcare, and education. But if labor is no longer required to create wealth, the contract evaporates. The efficiency class no longer needs a healthy, educated, and most importantly, demanding middle class to run their world. This is why we're seeing the sudden global push for universal basic income and central bank digital currencies. In this forensic context, these aren't social safety nets, they're maintenance payments. It is the cost of keeping a surplus population quiet. It is the digital equivalent of a zoo enclosure, enough credits to keep you fed and distracted, but no power to actually influence the machine. We are being moved from the player's bench to the observation deck. We are being shifted from participants in the economy to managed assets of the state. The 100-year war is reaching its endgame. The machine is faster, it is cheaper, it is infinitely more predictable. It will outcalculate you every single time. But it lacks one thing: the ghost. An AI can simulate empathy, but it cannot feel it. An algorithm can calculate the value of a life, but it cannot understand the worth of a soul. It can predict the future based on the past, but it cannot imagine a future that hasn't been programmed. The only way to win this war is to stop competing with the machine on its terms. If you try to be faster, more efficient, or more logical than the machine, you have already lost. You are just a second-rate version of a first-rate processor. Reclaim the parts of your humanity that can never be redacted. Your intuition, your radical creativity, your ability to build community. These are not soft skills. They are your only remaining weapons. We have unearthed the past, analyzed the present, and mapped the future. The file is now complete. The archive is open. The question remains: will you be the master of the machine, or will it be its final piece of data? The Redacted Finance is now signing off from the 2025 files. Keep your eyes on the data. The past is the only map we have for the future.